Why did Viking law allow anyone to murder this man with zero consequences? He hasn't just been exiled. He hasn't just been kicked out of town. He has been turned into a wolf. And the moment he steps out of the shadows, his own neighbors aren't just allowed to kill him. They are socially obligated to do it. But to understand this nightmare, we have to look at the single most terrifying word in the Old Norse language: Skoggangr. You've probably seen movies where a Viking gets banished and he sadly sails away to start a new life somewhere else. That's the Hollywood version. The reality was so much worse, it honestly sounds like a horror movie. See, the Vikings didn't have police. They didn't have prisons. They didn't have a guy you could call if someone stole your cows or burned down your barn. So, how do you keep order in a society of armed warriors without a police force? You create a fate worse than death. The word Skoggangr literally translates to forest going. It sounds peaceful, right? Like going for a hike. It was actually a death sentence that you had to execute on yourself. If you were sentenced to this full outlawry, you were stripped of your property. Your land was confiscated. Your marriage was instantly dissolved. But here is the part that blows my mind. You were stripped of your humanity. Legally, you became a Vargr, a wolf. In the eyes of the law, you were no longer a human being. You were a dangerous animal. This meant that if I saw you walking down the trail, I could strike you down right there, and I wouldn't be charged with murder. In fact, killing you would be treated the same as killing a pest. No fine, no blood money, just, good job, you got the wolf. Think about the psychological toll of that. You aren't just running from a specific group of guards, you are running from everyone. Every merchant, every farmer, every traveler is a potential executioner. You can't go into town to buy bread. You can't ask for shelter from a storm. And this is where the mystery gets really dark. How did these guys actually survive? Well, mostly, they didn't. The average life expectancy of a forest goer was incredibly short. You froze to death, you starved, or someone hunted you down for the glory of it. But the law went even further to make sure you died. It was illegal to help an outlaw. If your brother tried to sneak you some dried fish or a blanket, boom, now he is an outlaw too. If your wife tried to bandage your wounds, she's legally liable. The system was designed to completely isolate you until the cold or a blade finished the job. But here is the twist that historians love to argue about. Despite this brutal system, some guys didn't just survive, they became legends. The most famous one was a guy named Grettir the Strong. This guy was a beast. He managed to survive as an outlaw for 19 years. That is insane. Imagine sleeping with one eye open, shivering in a cave for 2 decades. But the sagas tell us it broke him. Grettir wasn't afraid of men. He could fight off 10 guys at once. He was afraid of the dark. The isolation drove him to the brink of madness. He was terrified of being alone because that's when the monsters, real or imagined, would come for him. It shows that even the toughest Viking couldn't handle the crushing weight of being cut off from humanity. So why did they do it? Why be this cruel? It solves the mystery of Viking justice. Since they couldn't lock you in a cell, they turned the entire world into your prison. The fence wasn't iron bars, it was the social contract. Once you broke the trust of the community, you didn't deserve to be part of the species anymore. It was the ultimate cancellation. And the scariest part? It worked. The fear of becoming a wolf kept people in line better than any standing army ever could. You didn't obey the law because you were afraid of the police. You obeyed because you were afraid of the silence of the woods. So I have to ask you, If you were stripped of everything, your home, your rights, even your humanity, and told to run for the woods, how long do you think you'd actually last before the cold or the paranoia got to you? Let me know in the comments below.